The last time we recorded an episode, it was 2018. And surely our listeners also want to know, how has 2019 been for you? Where are you in life right now?
Oh wow, 2019 had been so great. I guess every year grows, I'm growing. And right now I am working on letting go of things, cutting out things in my life and kind of decluttering my life. I was talking about cutting down like things in my closet, like letting go of clothes that I do not need anymore and repurposing it and selling it, or also giving things away, and just working on things in my life that will impact my wellness, and that also goes into like your everyday daily things. And I'm just excited for the time I go home so that I can just like declutter my room at home, because I feel like that also impacts you emotionally. Like, let go of things, it's very good and important. So it starts with your clothes and everyday things, and then it will go into like the emotional and mental and spiritual things. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So before we even really get into it, I'll meet you on the other side, Uni, of wellness as we dive into this topic. So yeah, let's do it.
Good morning. Sanbonani Dumelang, hello and welcome to the Unbecoming to Become podcast with me, Eunice Temba. If you are a new listener, I'd like to take this moment and welcome you. You are on a journey of unbecoming all the things that people, society, and experiences have told you to be. Today, I am welcoming back an old guest, somebody who has joined us before. And if you'd like to listen to more of our episodes, feel free to go back and listen to the knowledge that she had to say. I guess it's safe to say for me that she's back by popular demand. She always has some good knowledge to share. I personally call her my personal manager because I know that when I talk to her, something good and motivational is going to come back. I am being rejoined by Beloved Mphomane, a young woman born and raised in South Africa. She has a very high entrepreneurial spirit, a fashion lover, a lover of fabulous things, and she's an aspiring designer, art enthusiast, and photographer in the making. Above all, she labels herself as a creative who does not want to be limited by a description of just one title. She is a blogger, and I will share her blog website on the notes and later on in the show, where she shares her fashion and beauty advice, fashion aspirations, and she also shares her thoughts and experiences that have come together to make her the person that she is today. Above all, and this is something that I absolutely love about her, she's a child of God who seeks to share God's love in everything that she does. I guess she resonates so much with her love, beloved. And she's looking to one day make a mark in this world. And in all honesty, Sissy, I think you're already doing it. Hello and welcome back to the Unbecoming to Become. How are you? Or rather, shall I say good morning?
I was totally about to say that. Good morning, Eunice. Thank you for having me back. It's always an honor to talk to you.
Absolutely. It has grown into my spirit. Like, if I don't say good morning, you can hear me going about good morning world, good morning South Africa. And hey, it is just deep in my bones lately.
I'm so glad that you've adapted it, because I feel like you feel so much joyful, like the verse says, that joy comes in the morning. Like, you feel so much joy,
right,
come upon you as soon as you say good morning. So, yeah, that's what it's all about.
There you have it, guys. We are joined by the founder of Good Morning. You have...
I'm not the founder.
Well, allow me to give you that title, okay. Today we are talking wellness and wholeness. And after doing the relationship series, I thought this would just blend in perfectly, and before we get into it, just to share a quick note that I have down. Sometimes we go on in life achieving so much while we carry our wounds. Now, take a moment and imagine what more you can achieve if you were not carrying your wounds around. And to kickstart, my manager right over here was like, Uni, how about we touch on how relationships affect wholeness and wellness? And I was like, girl, you deep. So early in the morning, you woke up on some deep note. But I think I absolutely love that question. And it's a bit of a rather challenging question to be posed to me, but I will welcome it wholly. Having started dating again, I am actually glad that I took some time off, you know, because I got to come into terms with who I am, what is it exactly that I want, and the kind of person that I'm looking for. I always say how you treat yourself sets a tone to how other people would treat you. And so, with the time that I spent with myself, I almost got to know exactly what is it that I'm looking for, what is it that I will settle for, and what is it that I will not settle for. And I guess the beautiful thing about it all is that my boyfriend, of course, had also been single for like 2 years. So, and I believe that he used that time off to work on himself or find his purpose. Like the previous episodes that I had on Unbecoming, that it is important for you to find your purpose, because when walking into a relationship, you don't want the relationship to work on you, but you want to still be able to differentiate between your purpose and still be the person that the relationship requires for you to be, and still be able
That's
to
right.
set boundaries, to know that this I can be able to contribute, but this is asking a lot of me. Because in most cases we find ourselves lost because we don't know exactly what is it that we want. I remember having an encounter with one of my closest friends. She was like, Uni, how come you left for USA, still came back, and you found Bay waiting for you here in Mzansi? And where else to grow up? We just are struggling. And the one question that I asked was, what is it that you're looking for? And she was struck. And I was like, for me, that tells me that you're not ready to get into a relationship, because already you don't even know what is it that you want,
That's true.
what kind of a
Yeah.
person you are actually looking for. And so, yeah, that's about it. And another thing that I wanted to share, the what do I say, the concept of self-love. I think in a relationship you should be able to do some things with your partner, but at the same time also feel okay going about your day, doing some things by yourself. Not always be struck on wanting to see that person, but be able to move on with your life, and maybe just give them a call in the morning or later on, but know that your life does not really rotate around him or her. You're still able to do whatever that life demands of you, because sometimes we get into relationships that end up turning us into beings that we didn't actually even desire to be, because we aren't satisfied with ourselves, we aren't satisfied with our being, our loneliness, the core of it all. So yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know,
that's
what do you think?
yeah, that's right. Like a lot of people, I guess, tend to forget the self love in relationships and always look to, I don't know, please this other person, and look look to them to fulfill them instead of them
Right.
fulfilling themselves first, right? So yeah, I mean, I was reading this book, which is like called The Power of a Praying Woman,
Mm-hmm.
and this lady was expressing and showing that a friend of her was telling her that, like, we look to men to fulfill us. We look for our purpose, and everything within a relationship, and it's just like we've given them so much power over us, whereas that power does not belong to them.
Right.
For them to affirm us, or for them to say, okay, you are wifey material, or you are this, or you are that. God is the one that has already, that has the power to give, that has already given you that purpose, that has already said, you are the person that you are today, So yeah, I don't know. I wanted to read to you like this little part. I found it very interesting, and you tell me what you think. So it says, centuries women have wrestled with and waged with a war, with the sons of Adam, which are the men, in attempt to get them to bless us and affirm our value, which is so true, because today, I guess, people dress a certain way because they want guys to notice.
Right.
People do things because they want their man to notice and to affirm them, and it's just like, but you need to take care of yourself first. You need to love yourself first. You need to know yourself first. And I totally agree with what she said here. And it says, but the struggle has left us frustrated at best. In the end, it is all a senseless and exhausting process in which both parties lose. It is not the fault of the sons of Adam. They cannot give us the blessing that we seek, and we have frightened them by giving them so much power over our souls. And we must learn that the blessings we truly need come from God, which was like mind-blowing to me to read this.
I absolutely love that. And I guess that's why we have like so many frustrated parents, especially when it comes to our mothers, because I think for the longest time, women have been encouraged to get into relationships with the mere mindset that your man will take care of you.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is, the problem that comes here is that we put, like, we're talking about expectations, right? We put so much expectations and put them on this pedestal that, yeah, once I got a man, this is going to happen. Once I get a man, this is going to happen. Once I get, you like hype yourself up, like, to want to get into a relationship, because relationship is going to do this. I'm going to be this kind of person. I'm going to be, and it's just like, why are you not already working to be that kind of person?
Oh my gosh.
Without the man, right? Without the relationship. And that is what I'm receiving from, like,
right.
that passage. It's just like we just put so much expectations for them to affirm the people that we want to become, and that power does not belong to them. God has already said he knows who we are, so don't come in expecting someone to change you based on, you just being in relationships with them. You guys obviously will affect each other and change each other somehow, because you grow within experiences.
Exactly.
But that should not be like your main purpose. Like you said, you must already have a purpose, and relationship is just like a bonus added to life, I guess.
I like what you said so much, that don't wait for somebody, but like just start doing all of those things. For the longest time I've always said that I want to travel with the love of my life. I want to be able to do this and that with him, but I did not dwell on waiting for him. Instead, I took that trip to US because I always knew that I wanted to travel, but I was like, I'm not gonna wait for the perfect partner to travel with. I'm gonna start this journey by myself.
Yeah.
I know that when I'm in a relationship, I want to be able to go out to movies and stuff, but I started doing all those things by myself. I started taking myself out for movies. I take myself out for little dinner dates, lunch dates by myself. And believe me when I say it hasn't stopped. I still do that. And I find people asking, what happened? Did you guys break up? And I'm like, no, it's a part of me finding my sanity, because the world is so peoply. And if I don't take time off, I will go crazy. And I guess that's where like the whole notion of wellness and wholeness comes to, being able to still take care of yourself, even in the midst of taking care of other people, or in the midst of doing other things,
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's all about, a lot of the times people, like, our society confuses, like, self-love and being selfish, right?
Right. Oh my
And
gosh.
right, so it's like you are not trying to be vain and being about you, but you are trying to also just look after yourself. Like, yes, be about, know your values. Know what your life is about. Know that your life is not just for you, but it impacts others too. But in the midst of that, you know, just remember yourself. Who are you? What is your relationship with yourself? What is your relationship with God? How is your mind, your body, and your spirit? Are you well in those areas in order to function in other areas in your life? And, that's the aspects that I look at when it comes to being whole and being well.
Oh my gosh. I think we had this conversation on our previous phone calls. I remember telling you that the transition took a toll from me, coming back home and getting back to my normal life. At some point, I
Yeah.
wasn't even sure about my journey. And I guess after like having all those conversations with you, it was normal for me to feel that way, and it got me to a space where I was able to acknowledge all of those feelings. I remember you telling me that it's okay to even take time off and deal with yourself because you'll end up going crazy. And I'm just thinking to myself that imagine if I took all that burden and threw it to someone else. Because
Yeah.
that's what people tend to do. They try to inflict their problems to you instead of dealing with them. And how blessed
Dealing with
was
them.
I
Yeah.
to like actually trespass with you whereby you were like, Uni, it's okay. If it means crying, allow yourself to. If it means taking time
Yeah.
off, allow yourself to go through all of those things, because here's the one thing that kills us. We were not raised to acknowledge these feelings. The moment you start feeling somehow, it's like, umudi ona, she's so moody, or uyatefa, all of those things.
Yeah. You know what? I acknowledge that there are times when, things happen and you do not have the time or you cannot afford to sit down and cry over certain situations and you need to like just move on because life goes on. Whether you stop or you don't, time keeps on moving. But there are times where you have to just sit down and take it in, just like experiences when you go out. Stop looking at your phone and actually just be in the presence. And that is what that is all about. Taking time to actually feel those emotions, acknowledge that you're feeling a certain way, and ask yourself, okay, what am I going to do with it? Because we tend to want to please so many people. Like, I'm understanding the pressure of being a creative or, a creator, like right now, right? But it expects so much from you. And, people don't know what really goes on because they just get the end product, right? So they don't know mentally what's going on with you. What are you battling with your personal struggles? People don't look at that. They don't know all the other factors that come in before you even produce this, and the pressure that you put on yourself to be like,
Right.
I need to be consistent, not just for you, but in order for people to feel like they can rely on you with the content that you put out there for them. So it's so much pressure, and that's why sometimes you just need to be like, okay, communicate with your people and be like, I feel like I need a break, and take that break in order to be able to be a better you when you come back. Because it's no use if you cannot function and you just keep on going.
Right.
You're not going to produce at the level that you know that you can produce things and, create.
Absolutely. And I guess I said this earlier on to you that because sometimes we are not busy, productive, but it's the kind of busy because we want to run away from stuff. We want to be accountable. Which don't see her, she is busy. Well, else sometimes that business is not even, that productive business. Oh my gosh.
It's not. Yes, because that's the thing I think I see among like our generation, and I don't know, it's become like a problem. It like kind of shakes me a little bit, like gets me riled up because I'm just like, I do it too. I'm busy, busy. Every day of the week you're busy, but it's just like, where is the fruit, of
In
your
that
labor?
business.
Where is the product of being busy? Because yes, you're working on yourself. Sometimes you do not see it now, and you'll see the fruit later on. But it's just like, know that every time you say you're busy, you include doing something for you that is going to impact you in some way, that's going to change something, that is going to produce something in the end. And it's not you just keeping yourself busy with this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and then you're mentally exhausted.
My
But
gosh.
you have nothing to show for it.
Sometimes I look at my academics and I'm like, varsity expects of you to be always studying as if you don't have a life outside of
Yeah.
school. And I remember there's this girl right here on the same floor. She came this other day. She was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I've been studying since the first day that I got here. I'm about to explode. And I'm like, girl, take a break. If it means sleeping this entire weekend, do it. Don't even feel guilty. If it means spending the entire weekend at the mall, do it, or else you will go crazy. And I've seen people who literally go crazy because they're usually always doing the same thing, and at the end of it all, it's not healthy. It's not healthy physically and emotionally, and we just don't
Yeah.
see it. But
Yeah.
here's another thing that I want us to get into. I always hear people say, I'm cutting down friends, I'm doing this and that. I think we now live in a generation where we actually find it okay to cut people out. And
Yeah.
I personally do it. I don't know about you, but do you think this is how taking care of your wellness has come to? Always cutting people out?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am not even apologetic about it. Sometimes it is hard, because sometimes you have to cut out the people that have been so close to you and that have played such an important part in your life, that sometimes it's just like, you need to grow from that point. And in order for you to grow, you need to ensure that the surroundings that you're growing in are conducive to your growth, are healthy, and allow you to have that growth. So I believe in cutting out people when you need to, because sometimes when you grow, you are no longer in the same place as those people, whether it's interest, whether it's mentally, and if they are not willing to also grow and, keep up with where you are or where you need to be, then, it's safe to say you just need to let them go. And sometimes it's not necessarily like just cutting them off and be like, yeah, I'm never going to talk to you again. But it's just like a matter of reducing the time that you spend with them.
Right.
And investing it in another place. Like, yes, you can still be friends with them, but I am not as close to you because having conversations with you does not get me anywhere. It gets me to gossip about people, or it gets me to do this. It's something that counterfeits your wellness, So when it comes to, being mentally and spiritually healthy, you do need to cut people off. You need to, set yourself apart. And the saying when our parents always go, yeah, if you want to be smart, hang out with the smart people, or birds of a feather flock together type of thing. Like, I always feel like you should aim to be with the people that you want to be like, right?
Absolutely.
Ferraris don't hang out with Toyotas.
Oh my gosh,
no.
I like that.
You're right. Like when you go buy a car, you do not see them next to each other, right? Because they are in their own league. So if you want to be successful, you have to hang around successful people. You want to hang out around people who have done the things that you want to do. They will. It gets you kind of like. It gets you to a point where you push yourself to become that person, or to push towards the person that you want to
You
become in the
want to
future.
become, right. And I
Yeah.
guess it was a thing of me getting like too emotional about it. But oh my gosh, I feel bad that I no longer talk to them, whatnot. But you know, after my whole trip coming back, I looked at my life and I was like, there's, excuse me, there's nothing wrong with me running away from this life, because now I know what is it that I actually desire. So there's nothing wrong with moving away from home. I can still come back and visit the hood. Obviously I have to visit my family, but there's nothing wrong with me cutting associations with people that I grew up, because now we are in a different space of mindset, you know.
And that's right. And you know, the big thing is sometimes cutting people out and letting go of people does not only benefit you, but benefits them too.
Right.
It allows them to stop being in that bubble that, you know, of friendship that you guys were in, and you felt like kind of protected in, you know. So you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and you kind of just move on for the sake of you, but it impacts that person too, where they also realize, oh my gosh, you know, now that I am not consumed by this friendship, where am I going to invest my time? And you find that sometimes when you look back or when you check on the friends that you've had growing up and whatnot, and you just check up on them, because, you know, I do that with my friends. I'm not close to each and every one of them that I used to be close with.
Yeah,
but sometimes when you go back and be like, how are you? Some are not always good, but some are. Some are great. You know, they're flourishing in the places that they needed to be. And if we had continued to be communicating all the time and investing so much time, that person wouldn't be where they are today, and I wouldn't be where I am today, you know, because you'd be so dependent on those friendships that you base every decision of your life based on those things. So it could benefit both sides.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I think we tend to suffer in silence. We carry our burdens around and carry on as though everything is okay. We get to a point whereby we are no longer motivated by who we are, but we are driven by insecurity. I think it's time we get ourselves back and stop suffering in silence. In the midst of it all, we need to understand who is it that we are becoming. I know, beloved, that you can speak more on this more than I can, and this is something we spoke about while preparing to enter the year 2019. You know, you said we tend to set goals for our projects, our bank accounts, etc., but we never really set personal goals that focus on our holistic self. Do you want to maybe share a bit on that for our listeners?
Okay, sure. So I firstly want to look at like wellness and wholeness, and like I mentioned, what this affects. It affects your spiritual being, like your spirit, your body, and your mind and your soul, right? So in terms of your mind, you have to always be conscious of what you allow in, right? Like, what book are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? You know, what
oh my gosh,
are
I
the
love
things
that
that
so
affect
much.
yeah, what are the things that affect your thoughts, right? Because they say your surroundings and the things that you allow in are the things that um are the things that impact, you know, what you think about daily. So if you are watching negative things or listening to negative people, or I don't know, consuming yourself with junk, you know, your mind tends to just think of those things, and you can never, you know, think about positive things. If you listening to people body shaming people, or people, I don't know, talking negative about other people, you tend to inflict that pain back on yourself too. You'll never be nice to yourself, you know, because your thoughts will not be clean because of the things that you're allowing in. So in terms of mind, you know, I'm trying to be mindful of, you know, the thoughts I have, the things that I watch on TV, the podcasts or things that I listen to, the people who I talk to. I'm so sensitive about that, because it's just like, I want to have good thoughts, and when I don't, it it makes me feel some type of way. It's just like, we are human after all, and we do sometimes have negative thoughts or whatever. Nobody's perfect. But I try my best to be like, okay, I want the best, joyful thoughts all the time, positive thoughts all the time. I am an optimistic person, so I'm always looking at the cup half full and not half empty. And then I look at like the body, in terms of body. People tend to overlook this and feel like, they just focus on the mind and the spirit.
Right.
But I know that, like, exercising, like you were talking about how you have an exercise routine and how it makes you feel afterwards and whatnot. Exercise doesn't affect, like, our mind, and, it releases hormones that make us feel good. And I am still working on that, it's a tough journey, but it always starts with the mind. Like, before you even get into wanting to work on your body and your health and whatnot, it's a battle of the mind first. You have to first deal with it, with those negative thoughts with your mind, and then get into the body. And then when looking at this, at your spirit, it also comes back to, like, the mind thoughts you think, but, like, what kind of people and what kind of energy do you allow, in the room and stuff like that, right? So getting back, sorry, I think I'm rambling a whole lot.
You're not. Somebody needs all of this that you're saying, so you're fine, I say.
Yeah, so when getting to what I said, as we were entering into 2019, that we tend to set goals about everything else, but we forget to set our personal goals. I had a conversation with a friend, and she's like, oh yeah, do you do this? Because somebody told her that, hey, it is so important to be doing this. What are your goals? And she's like, I had to sit down and think, like, what are my 5-year goals? What are my 10-year goals for me, not for my business, not for my blog, not for your career, but for you. What type of person do you want to become in that? But how do you want to invest in you, in order to grow and become the person that you need to be,
Absolutely.
in those 5 years, or in those 10 years, or in this minute, in the next minute, what are you allowing yourself to take in? What are you learning? Because opening yourself to learning is something that contributes to the person that you become and your wellness. So I feel like we need to, like, kind of set goals, personal goals for ourselves, to be like, something like, maybe work on your kindness, maybe work on your anger.
I love
maybe
that.
Work on your patience. Like, I want to be a very patient person. I want to be less angry. I want to be a joyful person. I want to be a mindful person. Work on things like, I enjoy, like, doing very creative things,
Be
and
forgiving,
painting and drawing,
all these little
like,
things that we take for granted.
So, am I doing these things for myself? Have I done it?
Forgive yourself also, oh my gosh,
right?
I love this.
Forgive yourself. Put affirmations on the wall for yourself to be like, hey, like, you're doing great, or you are strong, or, kind of always reminding yourself of the person that you are, and the person that you want to be, and making sure that you grow as a person, and those are the small goals that you set, like, who do I want to be tomorrow? Who's that person I want to be in the future? And what are the steps that I'm putting in or taking in order to get there? And that is really important, above, like, not above everything else,
but yeah,
it kind of contributes. It contributes to later on being like, okay, how do I set my goals to achieve 1, 2, and 3? How do I go about getting to the position that I want to be in this new job? It all has to do with the personal goals that you set for yourself, and how you grow within yourself and the person that you want to be. Are you healthy personally? Are you loving yourself? Is self-love there? So those things make an impact on the other things and other parts of your life.
I love it. And also, oh my gosh, there's something that I came across that um, people have been conditioned to believe that it's okay to shout when they are angry. I don't know if it's how we were raised, but, and I tend to see a lot of that from people. If only, we can also make it one of those goals to work on wellness, because the moment you start shouting, it shows that, oh my gosh, you are just a mess. And some of the signs that I've also picked up that show how unwell we are with ourselves, it's how we eat. Our eating patterns
Mm-hmm.
can actually say a lot about you. If you are a controlling person or you are harsh with yourself and others, it shows that there's something which is unwell with you. And here's the thing about unwellness, it could be one tiny aspect, but believe you me, it's gonna show up. And when you
Yeah.
even like least expect it, because these things show up in our day-to-day lives, in our personalities. I know at some point I wanted to be this a strong, very independent woman, but then it took some growing in me to realize that, oh my gosh, you cannot do this life thing by yourself. It's okay to be independent, but know that you cannot always be strong. There are some days where
Yeah.
you're gonna need a shoulder to lean on. And I guess
Yeah.
one problem that also shows up with how unwell we are with ourselves is how we approach God, and this comes back to the gratitude journaling, but I'm going to come back to it later on. Sometimes we go on in our lives complaining, not realizing that there's actually a lot good going on than bad. And up until you become
Mm-hmm.
mindful of that, you will not see a problem with that. You just coming across somebody who's complaining about this and that, and getting them to a point where you're like, can you sit down and relax? Aren't you grateful for oxygen? And so I guess like what I've just pointed out is some of the aspects that show how we still need to work on our wellness. People are okay with being broke, and I see a lot of problem with that, because that shows that you are not really schooled on how to finance your money. But yeah, I just wanted to like get that out of the way, that these are some of the signs that you could be on the lookout for, in case you are wondering if, am I well, am I not, or if you're just thinking, oh, I'm good, I don't need this. I think wellness and wholeness is a journey that we go on for the rest of our lives. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah.
That's right. That's right. Because you know what, you need to take time to always reflect. I feel like people only sit down and reflect New Year Eve or whatever, when they're setting the year resolutions, and
Hmm.
that's when they want to reflect. But I told you I don't really believe in um, setting resolutions, but just
Right.
setting goals or continuing goals that you've set a while ago, and just work on them more. So people tend to just um, sit down and they set those resolutions, but they cannot fulfill them, right? What I wanted to say was that we need to spend time and reflect, right? That's where the New Year's resolution thing came in. Whereas like people only reflect that time, but you need to always sit down and reflect on, yourself and the decisions that you're making. I personally have not always made the best decisions,
Mm.
growing up and becoming the person that I have become, But those things kind of forced me to make changes in my life. And because I sat down and reflected and asked myself, is this the person that I want to be? Is this the person that I am? Is doing this with friends or going with the flow. Like somebody says, don't go with the flow, you're not a dead fish. So it's like, so I was laughing. It's just like, going with the flow, whatever. Like in that moment, because everyone is doing it, you feel so much pressure to try it or whatnot. And later on, I realized I'm like, I am not like those people, and
Exactly.
I am not that person. I do not want to be that person, you know. So reflecting and sitting down and continue reflecting is so important to your wellness, because then you pick up the faults, you pick up, you know, the good, like, okay, yeah, doing this is impacting me. I feel so great when I do this. And then you remember where you need to focus your energy more, you know. And like you were saying, with people being okay with certain things and whatnot, some of them are not okay but do not know how to deal with it. You know, they do not sit down and go, okay, I feel like this is where I'm going wrong, and they do not correct it. And that's one thing with reflecting. You have to sit down and, like, once again, like I said, reflect, but then see where you need correction, see things that you need to let go of. Like when we were talking about cutting out friends, or, you know, you need to identify those things in order for you to be able to move on and for you to grow. So it's so important in your wellness to sit down and reflect. And like you say, be thankful, you know, about gratitude journaling. Sit down and know, like, oh yeah, these are the things that I am thankful for, or these are the things that I was not proud of, you know, but you will pray upon them and work on them. You know, these are things that I need to work on, but these are the things that I'm thankful for. And every day just being thankful for something, it helps to keep on going, really. It helps you to be like, okay,
oh my gosh,
to remember your purpose and remember what your aim is and the person that you're aiming to become.
I absolutely agree. And you just reminded me of something that I heard from you. You see, guys, when I say she is my manager, my mentor, everything. Because when I was telling you that I haven't been at my best, and you were like, Uni, you also need to be grateful for the awareness of things that you haven't achieved. You know, you need to be grateful for the awareness of knowing that, oh my gosh, my life is not actually going as planned, because not a lot of people get that awareness, you know, acknowledging that, oh my goodness. And yeah, one of the many things that I always learn from you. Today I was at some event where we were working on vision boards, which also is something that I feel like a lot of people should be doing, especially when working on this whole wellness thing. It gives you direction.
Yeah.
It also holds you accountable, knowing that you want this in life, but you cannot just sit around and wait for it, but you should be taking steps into making sure that it happens. And it just occurred to me that, oh my gosh, there's this one lady who was like, on my vision board, I want to put confidence. And that is something that a lot of people are struggling on. And I remember from like our previous conversations, you felt so strong on this because you feel that media poses a lot that ends up making us feel like we are unworthy.
I just wanted to add that it kind of also plays into what we're talking about right now, like wellness. You know, once you kind of figure out like where your mind is and understand you know where your faith is and where your spiritual life is,
Yeah.
very much about the spirit, that will also translate back to where your confidence comes in. Like once you truly know yourself and you've made peace with the person that you are, and you are working on the things that you can work on, that will reflect when it comes to self-confidence. You know, you will no longer seek validation from people. You will no longer, you know, I don't know, look externally in order for you to be the person that you are. So you will not be apologetic about who you are. You'll just be, you know, you'll just yourself. And yeah, so that plays a big role in your wellness. And once you know who you are, or you're confident that you are working towards the person that you want to be, all other things like don't matter. You know, you do not compare yourself as much as the ordinary person. You know, people do compare themselves sometimes, like, why is this person doing this? And I'm not here. I find myself being guilty of doing that too. But then I have to remind myself, hey, we are not running the same race. We are not on the same journey. You know, I might, it's that concept of the grass is greener on the other side, right?
Yes.
I I am here doing this and this and this. Somebody might be looking at me like, oh yeah, she's in the US, so she's doing
And
this,
they
she's
don't
doing
know
this, she's doing
exactly
this.
what you're going through.
Yeah, and they don't know what I'm going through. They don't know my struggles. They do not know that where I want to be. Like, maybe I'm at a point, like, I'm done with this chapter,
Yeah.
although it's not fully done, and I want to just move on, and you see other people in the place that you kind of see yourself working towards, right? And they are probably looking at you going, oh yeah, I want to be there. And then you end up looking at them like, oh man, they're doing so great on this, they're doing so great on that. I need to push myself. And sometimes it's not a matter of motivation, but you end up comparing and
Yourself.
trying to measure your journey with somebody else's journey. And that is a problem, So you need to reel it back and think, okay, no, we are not on the same path. You know what? The things that I'm doing, will impact, where I'm going in the future. And it goes back to the busyness and productiveness,
Right.
like stop being busy and be productive and work towards the things that you want to do, because indeed it will pay off and you'll see it in the end. Like, it will speak for itself. Your work will speak for itself.
Amen. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Just two quick questions. For me personally, wellness means being at peace. So, in three simple words, what does wellness mean to you?
Oh man, can I say I hate when I'm like, just in 3 words, I have to think.
Because I'm pushing you to think in just three simple
I know.
words. We don't want to think of sentences because already you've said it all. Just three simple words whereby I'm like wholeness and I'm like, oh, Beloved said 1, 2, 3.
Okay, wholeness. Can I kind of also explain a little? Okay,
Okay,
wholeness.
you can explain it
I
after. Yeah.
Okay, definitely peace,
Mhm.
because God has given me a peace that no one can really understand. So peace, love is something that plays a role in wellness, and growth.
Growth. Oh my gosh. Right. I love that so
Growth,
much.
love, and
Don't get me started, but I might just steal that. And lastly but not least, what does unbecoming to become mean to you?
Wow, we're back at this question. So yeah, I mean, for those who are new listeners will obviously listen to what I said the last time, and I probably do not always remember what I say, but yeah, I think the concept still kind of stays the same, is that unbecoming to become is unlearning, things that we've been told to do and to become and to be, and relearning new things that equip us to be the people that we are looking for to be, right? It comes back to the topic also that we're talking about today, unlearning habits that you might have learned from observing things in your household, or things that are stuck with you from generations, that I feel like some of them are even in your DNA, those struggles and how you should go about doing life and how you should do everything in your life. So you need to unlearn those things and equip yourself to learn and become the person that you really want to be, like the woman that you want to be or the man that you want to be, so taking those necessary steps to become that.
My goodness, I almost never get enough of our conversations. To our lovely listeners, I think it's important to set boundaries of how far, how much, and how long you're going to pour into others. Because sometimes you may think that, oh, I have to do so and so for someone because they love me. But actually, they don't love you. They love your gift and how that gift serves their purpose. For the first time ever, and in a new way, I'm going to allow Beloved to close the show for us. Adios.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Okay, yeah. So closing this conversation and the end of the podcast, I basically wanted to be like, remember in life that some people are there for a season, some people are there for a moment, and some people are there for a lifetime. So there are those people that stick around for a lifetime and that grow with you in this journey of being well and this journey of becoming, right? So yeah, in closing this, I just wanted to say and remind people that some people are there for a moment and some people are there for a season, and know that some people are there for a lifetime. Some people are there to grow with you in this journey of becoming, the person that you want to become. So it's very important to acknowledge that it's okay to let go of the people who are just there for moments and seasons, and know how to identify those who are there for the long run and who are there with you, through time. And yeah, I just wanted to end up by giving you guys more information about where you can reach out to me. Follow me on my Instagram at the_beloved_amore. And then I have a Facebook page, which is All Things Fabulous, so The Beloved Amore. And check out my blog, thebelovedamore.com. And can I just say right now, I started a YouTube channel, so just look for The Beloved Amore or Beloved Amore. And I am looking to update that and working on making it like a permanent fixture and a thing that I am consistent about. So yeah, that's where you can find me. But Eunice will give all the links below in the description. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. There you have it for today, guys. Good morning.